This is Greg Pass with the Americans of Wartime Museum. Today's date is February 25th, 2022, and I am in Arlington, Virginia, and I have the pleasure to be sitting down with Specialist Joe Tedford. Joe, thanks for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So give us your full name and tell us where you were born.
My name's Joseph Tedford. I was actually born in the United Kingdom. Moved here in 2009.
And branch of services Army, obviously.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when did you enlist? And what was your motivation to join the U.S. Army?
I enlisted in January 3rd, 2019. Motivation was, ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to serve in some sort of aspect, and just thought like it was the right time to do my part.
And what was your MOS?
11 Bravo Infantry.
And was that down in Benning?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that one station you're in training, or is that split up?
It's just one, so it basically just goes straight from basic training into OSIT.
And how did you land yourself an assignment here in Arlington?
So originally I had orders to go to Fort Hood, but because of the inauguration, my orders got changed to come here, and that's how I ended up here.
Have you ever, prior to you being assigned here, have you ever been to Arlington to the tomb?
No, sir, but I've seen lots of videos, and I knew a lot about it beforehand. Yeah.
Were you excited about being able to be a part of this?
I was, yeah. It was definitely not what I was expecting to do, but I was definitely ready to come and carry on doing what I was doing.
So are you a badge holder?
Yes, sir, I am.
So tell us about the journey that once you get here to get to a point where you're at right now, how does that happen?
So there's lots of stuff involved in between starting a platoon and then getting your badge. So there's stuff like we have to do 5 individual tests. First test would be a TDY test. Basically just proves that you're going to have what it takes to get through training. Test 1 is a knowledge, uniform, and test on outside performance in the guard change and guarding the unknowns. Each test gets progressively harder as you go on. So test 2, you get added more, there'd be more knowledge you have to know. That'd be all 17 pages you have to know by then. Then there's the full rotation test, which is doing a public brief, like we do tell the story of the unknowns. And then the badge test would be a similar test to full rotation test.
And how long on average does that take to get through all that?
About a year.
Mm-hmm. Did you find it difficult, challenging?
Oh yeah, definitely one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, I'd say.
So the soldier that was before you was telling me, I guess it's like, what, 17 pages? Or
yes, sir.
Insane of knowledge. Is that one of the more difficult parts to...
Yeah, that was definitely tough for me. Having to know it completely verbatim, word for word, with punctuation and everything. Yeah, so...
That's insane.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. I didn't ask the other guys. Are there follow-up tests? Like once you achieve your badge holder, is there like in-service type testing you have to go through to make sure you're maintaining it?
No, sir. So you're basically just... So there's the full rotation test and then there's a badge test. So full rotation and badge are very similar tests. So it's just you'll take your full rotation test and you can have 2 things wrong on your uniform, 4 gigs outside, and then a historical brief, like I said. So it's basically just to show that you can maintain the same high standard between the 2 tests and make sure it just wasn't a fluke. And then from then on, you're just trusted to maintain the standard yourself.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So once you get that, they don't just throw you out during the daylight hours and say have at it, right? You start at night. Is that correct?
When you first get in the platoon, yes, you start at night. A lot of my training and a lot of where I got good at was done during the nighttime because it's a good time for the new guys to get training because there's no crowds outside, nothing to distract them, nothing to make them nervous. A lot of time to work on uniform stuff with them too.
So tell me about what it was like the first time you were in front of a crowd. Well, what's that like? You got some butterflies going on?
Yeah, that was. I felt like my legs were shaking, and I thought everybody could see me being nervous, and it was definitely surreal, and it happened really fast, and I'll never be able to get that moment back, but I will always remember it.
And I'm making an assumption your buddies are probably out there watching too, which probably makes it even worse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're all watching on the stuff we have here. So
Yeah.
yep.
So, I'm sorry, how old are you?
I'm 23.
Okay, so what's it like to be a 23-year-old American in the middle of something as important as this operation you have going on here?
It's definitely eye-opening for sure. It's definitely opened my eyes to what I can do personally and what I can do for everyone else, especially being a young guy when I'm walking out to guard the unknowns and World War II vets are standing to let me go by, and I'm thinking in my head, it's you're the reason why, you're the motivation here, not me. So it's stuff like that really is mind-boggling to me.
So when you're not actually standing guard, do you have an opportunity to interact with the public at all?
Yes, sir. Yeah, especially in the summertime when it gets really busy, I like to go outside and interact with people, see if they have questions about the unknowns or with the guard change or what we do. Mm-hmm.
So it's 24/7 operation.
Yes, sir.
Who all's out there right now? You have somebody that's actually walking the guard, and is there other staff out there too? Is that correct? Or
No, sir. Just right now, just one guard guarding the unknowns. Next hour, we have someone else. But we're always monitoring with our security cameras. We're always looking. Whenever we're down here, there's always someone looking around.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I understand there was a big ceremony here in November. Can you tell us about the flower ceremony and what your involvement in it was?
Yes, sir. So there's a big, like you said, the flower ceremony. It was the centennial of the World War I unknown internment. They opened up the plaza and let everybody come pay their respects like they would have back in the first internment and lay a rose for the unknowns, World War I unknown. I took part in the guarding during the whenever the public was coming to lay the roses. Yeah.
I understand you had to do some adjustments with the mat and everything. How did that work out?
Yes, sir. So they put the mat on the front side of the tomb, down the stairs. We were guarding from there instead, which was definitely different from where we usually guard from. Yeah.
Did you find that the public was respectful and appreciative of the ceremony?
Oh yes, it went a lot better than we all planned. No one was disrespectful. Whole time I was watching everybody, there was no one being disrespectful at all. Definitely utmost respect for most people.
Did you get an opportunity to see the Crow Nation honor guard?
No, sir, I did not work that day, but I saw pictures of it and it looked pretty awesome.
Talked a little bit about how it feels to be in the middle of this. What advice would you give to somebody if you met a young man and says, "Hey, this is awesome. You know, I want to enlist and I want to do what you do." What advice would you give him?
I give him. First of all, I tell him it's not going to be easy. It's definitely going to be hard. It's going to challenge you in every aspect that you never thought you'd be challenged in. Let's say it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. And just stick with it, and you'll make it through.
So, obviously, we're recording this right now, and in a few weeks, you'll be sent a copy of the video. You'll also be sent instructions, if you choose to submit the video to the Library of Congress for the Veterans History Project.
Okay.
There's thousands of videos and interviews on file there. So theoretically, your great-great-great-great-great-grandkids might stumble upon the video. What would you want them to know about your service to your country and your service here in Arlington?
I would say that serving has definitely been the best decision I've made so far. Really enjoying it, definitely going to stick with it. I'm glad the man that doing this job has turned me into. I wouldn't be the man I am today if I didn't do this job. So.
You have anything else you want to add?
No, sir.
Well, on behalf of the Americans in Wartime Museum, I thank you for spending time, and more importantly, thanks for your service.
Yeah, thank you.
It's great to meet you, Joe.
You too.